I brought up your new title, which entails a slightly broader realm of coverage that now includes NVIDIA. What is your opinion of the political controversy surrounding the sale of chips in China? Is that riskier now than it has ever been because of Trump's planned connection with the Chinese? Yes, I believe it's a negotiating chip, since everyone understands that Musk and Trump are the only players in the game. Isn't that NVIDIA? It will eventually come to pass, and it will give Godfather V, Gens, and NVIDIA more negotiation leverage when it comes to chips entering China. You saw the tariffs. I believe they have had a limited effect on NVIDIA, but we still think that this is all paving the way for a golden age of AI, not only for NVIDIA, but for the entire industry. However, they are using it as a negotiating chip with Beijing. Finally, before I leave, NVIDIA, what's coming up next week? The profits, huh? What are our thoughts on this heading in, huh? Prepare the watch parties and grab the popcorn. This is going to be really amazing. Over the next year or two, I believe the street will continue to underestimate where numbers go. They will probably fight this one. But in the end, a $4 trillion market cap is anticipated. We'll stop there. Welcome to Fast Money again. D shares of Taiwan Semiconductor are down today after Reuters revealed that U.S. officials had ordered the chipmaker to halt exports of AI chips to China. The announcement follows last month's discovery of a Taiwan semi-product in a Huawei chipset. Today, other significant chipmakers also saw a decline. To begin the week, NVIDIA, AMD, Broadcom, Intel, and Qualcomm all closed lower. You were looking at this, Stan? Indeed, we have been hearing this for a time. These chips have an illicit market and are making their way into Chinese gadgets. The most significant factor here, I suppose, is how far behind the United States, China, is in terms of designs and the like. As a result, this is pretty intriguing stuff. And while I am aware that the U.S. government and Commerce Department, or whatever, have previously made such declarations, it does have the potential to intensify the conversation with China at a time when the new administration is also considering 60% tariffs on all goods and services, among other things. Therefore, this is one to watch carefully. Indeed, a portion of last week's profits were relinquished by the whole semiconductor industry. Yes, it did. We've also discussed how it hasn't reached any new highs in relation to the S&P in a while. June and July are truly when it all began. You have a sort of double top, and this could be one for you if you prefer head and shoulders formations. NVIDIA has, in my opinion, hung tough like the new kids, and we've been kind of sideways. However, I do believe that you need to be keeping an eye on this leadership. We'll probably need this back, and I don't think you can get this type of leadership out of meme stocks. I'm not sure if this is just about S17 news or if the question of whether AI has actual promise is at the center of it. It has had a tremendous run leading up to this, and we will see it when NVIDIA reports. It's accurate, it's fascinating. Because of the incoming president's rhetoric that they will have to pay for their own defense, I believe Taiwan will end up purchasing F-35s and Patriot missiles from the U.S. to demonstrate that they are willing to cooperate, which will enrage the Chinese. This has been an existential threat to Taiwan Semi and possibly NVIDIA the entire time, so you start to think about how it will all work out. How about semis? As we indicated earlier, NVIDIA is displacing Apple at the top of the market capitalization hierarchy. Of course, it had an amazing run, but not all of the stocks in this market are NVIDIA. How do you evaluate the semifinals? This is the one location where I firmly believe you have witnessed leadership truly fracturing or splitting, and this has been the case throughout the spring, summer, and fall. We are aware of the NVIDIA chart's excellence. We are aware of Broadcom's excellence. Matt, where are you? Lam Research is where? Where is ASML? Samsung, where are you? Although it appears to be the fastest, it is actually the weakest in terms of perceived leadership. Here, only a quarter of the semis are above their 200-day moving average. For the following 4 to 6 weeks, semis do provide some decent seasonality. In my opinion, if you had a bounce, I would be more likely to fade it rather than chase it in the semifinals. Regarding Berkshire's sale of Apple, I questioned you earlier. Now, let me turn the tables and ask you about NVIDIA and its participation in the Dow. Based on your observations over the years, how do you feel about that? Indeed, it is evident that on some level, the Dow felt somewhat out of step with the current state of the economy due to the prior inclusion of Intel and the lack of a play on Nvidia, which accounts for 7% of the S&P 500. One could argue that it is simply clinging to a high momentum play after it has already made its biggest gains. I was just examining the market capitalization comparison between Nvidia and Apple, which is currently neck and neck. Nvidia will receive almost half of the net income and a third of the revenue in the upcoming year. It is evident that the stock is more costly, but its growth rate is significantly faster. First of all, just because a stock is listed on the Dow does not provide you a fresh incentive to purchase it in the near future. According to history, there is absolutely no reason to purchase. The amount of money indexed to the Dow is quite little. The main focus is on how it's confirming its existing position in the new tech economy, which we previously knew about. Once more, I don't believe that this is a sell the news scenario. Perhaps the Intel concession makes it a good investment, but right now it appears like the Dow is more concerned with staying relevant. Okay, nice stuff. Let's check the Nvidia stock this morning. With a price target of $175, Piper Sandler rated the company as an overweight choice and declared it a must-own for the Blackwell chips ramp-up. Today's pricing is $148.07. Guys, you brought up a few of the hyperscalers. Nvidia, a few positive remarks. This Mellis note is quite intriguing, and Piper makes it a great pick. It simply goes to $185, right span. He claims that our excitement for Blackwell has increased even further. Ben claims that giving up on Nvidia with Hopper is comparable to giving up on Apple after just 1 or 2 iPhones. Additionally, David, they have updated projections on hyperscaler capex. Their number is $282. $282 billion? A billion. For how long? Year after year, I guess, with Oracle, Amazon, and Meta included, it would be increasing 24% year over year. How it stacks up against some of the Morgan Stanley figures we received is unknown to me. It was more than $100. In other words, over right. Yes, they were $300. Yes, I must verify the figures. However, there has been something intriguing that I've been attempting to concentrate on. Last week, there was an information story. Additionally, I listened to Mark Andreessen and Ben Horowitz's podcast. Although it was done before the election, it is unrelated to that. It was about, or at least they suggested that, the huge language models development, especially at OpenAI, is, in a sense, stalling out as they move from one model to the next. Additionally, Orion, the next flagship model, I suppose its code name there, is mentioned in the information article. Although it performed better than previous models, the quality improvement was far less pronounced than the difference between ChatGPT 3 and ChatGPT 4. Naturally, those are the final 2 models. On that podcast, Andreessen also made the same statement. It's kind of fascinating, so I'm simply marking it. Is their data running low? Why? Is it accurate? Is progress actually slowing down? As that wasn't anticipated. It's not like it's a chip problem if they are actually using as many or more CPUs. Simply put, Carl, it can be unclear, certainly from me, or a data-related problem. But if the trend abruptly halted, that would have significant consequences. To keep from deviating too much from what you're saying, I am aware of the other